Hello, people. My name is Tika.
And I'm Tim. Welcome to Two Sides to One Coin. How's everybody quarantined?
We still in quarantine. We still in quarantine. Hey, hey.
Hey.
Quarantine. We still in quarantine. Hey, hey. We still in quarantine. We
I'm with it.
quarantine.
You see the shit?
Glue supplies. I got glue sticks. All types.
I got glue sticks too. I'm scrapbooking though.
We be doing shit.
So what's up, best friend? What you up to? How are you this Friday? We're recording this on Friday.
It is Friday.
It is. And we're both drinking wine. Cheers to us.
Cheers.
Ding. So what you got on? What's on the agenda today? I heard we're doing something awesome.
Woo! We gonna get deep and personal with Tim. Hey, with Tim. We gonna get deep and personal with Tim. Hey, with Tim. We gonna get deep.
My favorite color is. I'm just kidding. All right.
Anyway, we are going to be discussing today dating in your 30s. What is that? What does it look like? What does it feel like? What is it? I really can't relate because I'm no longer dating. I haven't been dating since 23, 24.
Yeah, it's been almost 10 years for you. You've been off the market for a decade.
Past 10.
Oh, going on 11.
We at 11.
Yes, we are, because you over 30. You 35, best friend.
I am.
I got a couple months.
What I say? My birthday is September with yours.
Your birthday and my birthday. Yeah, your birthday is September.
Therefore, I'm technically.
Okay. So how do you want to start this? Hit me with it.
On my birthday. I ain't got no birthday. Huh?
That's true. I'll be, we'll see in September if I'm quarantined. I'm going to be on Saturday.
Anyway, Tim. So we are focusing on Tim today because Tim is in his 30s and he is single. And he is, dibbling, dabbling, and mingling. So.
Why you say it like that?
I guess I say it like that because you ain't necessarily came to either me nor your other best friend whom we know much about you and said, hey, I am dating such and such. So in my mind, I have to assume that you're dibbling and dabbling and mingling and there's nobody extra serious.
Okay.
So, how is the single life for you, first of all? Let's start there.
I'm very happily single. I'm honest. Moments of severe loneliness, especially with this quarantine. But all in all, I've been single, best friend, all of my 30s. So I've been single since 29. So it's been almost 6 years of being single. Because I still get it when I need it, but I've been single. I've been trying to date. It's difficult now that I'm in my 30s. I'm not gonna lie, it's very difficult.
Okay, why is it so difficult to date now that you're in your 30s?
The landscape is very different. The people don't care like they used to. My generation has taken on traits of the new generation, and they're not good traits. There's no more loyalty. And I can't say with everybody, but with the women that I've come in touch with, they're very selfish in a blind, selfish way. And the ones that aren't, I'm really not ready to be somebody's stepdaddy. So dating a woman with kids has been difficult.
Blindly selfish.
Mm-hmm.
What does that look like? Because
selfish looks like not a stereotype, but looks like our generation when we were 21. Blindly selfish. Just there's no concept of people. Or feelings or someone else's well-being. It's kind of, I need this for me and only me, and if it ain't helping me, I'm good.
So do you think that, like the social media platforms and the Tinders and the swipe lefts and the swipe rights and all of that type of stuff has made dating kind of non-authentic?
Not so much not authentic. It's made it very much more difficult to find authenticity.
Okay.
So it's not that it's not there anymore, but it's just very much more scarce because you go on Plenty of Fish, or you go on Tinder, or you go on these dating sites and you feel the attention, which is never not a bad thing, but the attention without intent is just lust. And I'm too old to be lusted over. We good. I know I'm fine.
So are you saying that more so if you do go on a dating site for you or you see someone on a platform, it's just kind of like, I'll smash that, but necessarily not
It
anything.
doesn't, not on my end. I don't feel that, but men and women alike are very much more open on social media platforms. As far as women wouldn't come up to a man at a bar 10 years ago and tell him, some women won't. But nowadays you have women that can swipe right and then be like, hey, what that dick do? And you're like, whoa, ma'am, what? My name is Tim. What is your name? Clearly it's not Sex Kitty 33. Like, so it's a difference. You have to siphon through more bullshit than if you were meeting naturally. 1,200 Facebook friends and people in your DMs and your Instagram DMs and your Snapchat DMs, and it's like, just text me or call me because I don't know what none of that means. So that has been difficult, adjusting to technology in the dating world.
So I've seen nowadays that, like back in the day when you didn't like a person, you kind of just been like, hey, this is not working out between you and I, that type of shit. You kind of like communicated through it, and either you left that situation mutually and friends, or you left it with one person was hating the other one.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, you let the person know that this wasn't working out. Have you,
Yes.
nowadays people ghost you, right? So have you ever been ghosted?
I've been ghosted, and I ghosted someone, and I didn't think it was ghosting. I think I was very open and honest with our last conversation in my head, but in hindsight, I probably should have said more than what I said. I was kicking it with this girl, and it was just not working, and she just didn't seem there, and she just stopped texting me, and I was like, oh, I hope you're not dead. I wish you well. XOXO, Gossip Girl. Like, you know? Um, but then with me, I was kicking it with this girl for a while, and I'm talking like helping her move, spending time with her and her child. And then it was just like after 9 months, it was like, we friends? I got too many female friends. We're not friends. I'm done fucking with you. And it was a text message and then a 15-second phone call, and that was kind of it. I was like, I'm good. I wish you well. Be blessed.
Right.
But yes,
I think the whole ghosting thing is just so impersonal. I think like you like an asshole if you could just literally like
yes and no. The world has given us a reason to be an asshole. Like to the platform.
I say ghost, I literally be like, you good one day, and then the next day you go to text this person and you're like, hey, are you there? And hey,
Now see, I've experienced that one. Like, I've never really had that in the mainstream, and I could never really just, that sounds awful to just do that to someone. I will have a conversation. Granted, my conversations be short, quick, sweet, and to the point. Hey, I don't like you. The way your energy is not for me. But it sucks because that does make rejection a little more harder. Rejection, it soaks in a little more easier when someone can just swipe left, or someone can just be like, I'm good, and not fuck with you ever again. The whole unfollow and block thing is it's making people easier to be cowards when it comes to relationships or situations or connecting.
Do you think that because of it, it's less of a genuine connection?
I feel it. I feel like there's less genuine connections out there, especially for me. I feel like I think I post this quite a bit. I meet a lot of people who only like me for how I make them feel, which sounds like that should be the reason why you with someone. But for me, it's almost as if you only like the way I make you feel, but you don't like me.
Right.
And that's what I've been running into quite a bit lately, which is why 2020, we shut these doors on it, shut it down until you know.
So, do you look at your current situation as a situation that you're choosing to be single? I choose to be single because I want to be single, or is it kind of like, I don't want to really date anybody who's not really ready for that type of commitment, or is it kind of I just ain't met the right person? So I am most definitely content with being by myself until I meet that person
It would
that
it
I'm
would have to
going
be
with.
three. The third one definitely. I went through a couple years ago, you know, when I was single, like that second year. You remember, I was stir crazy. Like, I'm never going to be with someone. I'm never going to have kids. I'm never getting married. And then right around 32, it was like, oh my God, everybody I know is married with kids. What do I do? But now it's like, I'm very happy. I'm very happily single. And I'm not waiting, but I know if it comes, I won't be blinders on, but I'm also not out there. I'm no longer out there playing the field or looking.
Right.
I'm very, yeah, like I'm very happy where I am. And I also don't want to rush it because the way the world is, I'd rather wait till the world changes.
so so fucking what? You rather wait for it to change to what? What is your perfect world?
But not in a perfect world. I always said I wouldn't raise kids in the world I lived in. And the world I lived in and grew up in is no longer around because there's no way we can go backwards after this. And even if we do, it won't be the same. So I can always tell my children and I can always be like I met my wife and had kids after the world changed because that sounds awesome. Yeah.
Use it. So when you are, let's say, starting to meet a woman and you guys are chatting, what is the first thing that you look at to say, yes, this is somebody I'm gonna continue to speak to, or nah, she gonna be a waste of my goddamn time. Like
Eye contact.
how you do that?
Eye contact is super big with me. I hate when people drift when I'm talking to them. Like, bitch, what are you looking at? What's wrong? You shifty? Um, I appreciate someone who can look at me and talk to me. And someone smile. Like a smile can change an environment, a room. Um, I can't necessarily say I want someone like me because I'm a very loving, warm, hugger, physical human. And I think if I had a woman like that in my life, it would be a lot for me at first. Just being around someone that is genuinely a body person like I am. Like, why are you right up under my armpit? Like, I think I would not like it at first, but I also think I wouldn't shun it because I know I'm not used to someone loving on me like that, if that makes sense.
Right. So you used to being the lover, not the.
You know it.
Well, I know a lot about you, but
You're
I'm not
right.
here to tell your truth. You are. So
Yeah, it's difficult because where I am in my life and who I am, I get a lot of, oh, there's not a lot of men like you, or there's no men like you out there, and I'm like, I know, I'm me, kind of the shit. But it's also difficult because I don't know how to receive love when it comes to certain things. Like I know my friends love me. I know the people that care about me. But outside of that, it's been so long. It's been very long since I've met someone who I'm captivated by,
right,
or who was captivated by me, if that makes sense.
right,
Um, my exes, people that I've messed around with, they all liked I think a lot of people love the ideal of me, love how I make them feel in the moment. But once they've gotten what they need from me, I'm very much disposable.
mm-hmm.
And that was how I felt until I started getting inward and like, oh, it ain't all their fault. I mean, they all still dead to me. All my exes are very much dead. But I no longer blame them for the choices I made, you know.
Right. That's a good insight to no longer blame them for a lot of choices.
I know, right? Because you remember there was a time where,
Yeah, because it was a time where you didn't hold any accountability whatsoever. even.
We know this. We know.
I think that was more so because you saw red flags and you had people telling you that there was red flags, but you're like, no, I love her.
I was so hopelessly in love. Yeah. What was that? Come here, baby bird. I've learned how to not try to heal every broken bird's wings, and not everybody wants to love me. They probably just want to heal, and once they're healed, it's not me that they're in love with. So I've taken those things, but I've also looked in the mirror and gone, do you feel worthy of love? And that was something that I didn't feel worthy of, especially in recent years.
So, okay, this is a good question that I want to ask you.
Uh,
With you being who you are, uh,
mhm.
and I mean that by saying, you were a dancer, you grew up with women, you have a very strong force of women that surrounds you. You kind of motivate, uplift women in that same retrospect, right?
Mhm.
With that being such a big part of you and a piece of you, do you feel like most women look at you and friend zone you? Or do you feel like, it's kind of like a split between these type of women that want me to be around because, I'm a motivational speaker and I make them feel great, but it would never even go anywhere, even if I have feelings for that person, because I'm always friend zoned? Or do you think that
Mm.
it's not like that at all? Because I know a lot of guys that be like really great, great guys, and they are so sweet, and it's everything that you hear women saying that they want. But then those are the first guys to get like friend zoned.
Hmm. Well, since you already know the answer to this question, clearly, best friend. But yeah, it's completely the latter. Most of the women I meet automatically friend zone me because they're like, "Oh my God, I've never met somebody like you." Blah blah blah. Oh, we could be best friends, and I'm like, we good. Um,
Bitch, no, you can't.
and then the other side of that is lust, and it doesn't feel genuine. When it comes to people who I think I'm interested in, it feels as if um, one or the other. I'm automatically friend zoned because, like you made a good point. One woman told me, she was like, "There's no way you're this nice to everybody and every woman, and not there's no way every woman is getting this attention if you're not smashing all these girls." And for me, that's a non-starter. I can't imagine sleeping with all those people. That's a lot. But also, eh, to be an asshole or to be what I hear about mostly is very disheartening. I could never change who I am, but it's also very difficult to hear from almost every woman I meet, the men that they're interested in. Those shoes will never be filled by this guy. And so I'm like, well, we can be associates. I mean, we can't be friends. I got a lot, but we can definitely be associates. And so
Right.
many people cling quickly, like fast friends. And that's how I was for a while. Like, I knew a chick 2 weeks, and I'm like, best friend, I know this girl, and we're like, we like so close, and you're like, you don't know that bitch, And for me, it took growing up to realize not everybody's for me, or some people just want to be my friend because they like the way I make them feel, and that's been difficult to reconcile because I can't change who I am, and I won't. Duh. But it's also very hard to see so many amazing women just overlook me because they're used to a certain type of person.
Right. I think, and I think that's something that all women need to look at themselves and reflect on what it is that we really want. Because we'll say we want one thing, but then when that thing appears, like in actual physical form, it's like, yeah, nah, motherfucker, you too good to be true.
And that's
It's
the
like,
one girl was like, "There's no way you're real. When is the other shoe going to drop?" And that's very hard to live in the world like that. For me, it's like, well, I can't keep being with people who are waiting for me to fuck up. Like, there's no way you're this nice and this caring and this. And I'm like, oh, I'm a psycho. But if we keep the loyalty and the communication, you'll never see me try to burn your house down.
that's my right.
And, and so it's a difficult balance for me because a part of me is like frustrated. Um, with the state of the world we're in when it comes to dating. But the other part of me, like I said, I can't keep being okay with social media. Like, I love my Netflix and Hulu, but they don't keep me warm at night.
Right. So do you see kids and marriage and all of that stuff in your
I
future? Or
want,
at this point, is it like, oh, I just see myself having, this really strong woman at my side, and we got, I got my god kids and I got my nephews, and I'm good with that. And now I just see me traveling and loving this woman and us being one. Or do you really long for, the whole kids, picket fence, puppy dog and cats and shit?
I mean, not picket fence, but I've always had the quote unquote American dream. Like, I want twins and I want to get married. And those things are very, very much still the hopeless romantic in me. Once those, not the fairy tale, the house and the tiny house with the land, and it sounds beautiful. Will I crumble if it never comes? No, because like you said, I have 7 beautiful godchildren. I have 2 amazing nephews. I love being an uncle and a godfather and a best friend and a person in my friends and family life. But I don't keep the sheets warm, So the Virgo in me, the man in me, the 30-year-old man in me wants a woman I can hold at night, or a wife and a husband I can come home to, find me a nice married couple I can bring home to meet the parents. I said it, bite me. But now I'm at a place where I'm okay with where I am, but I'm also don't mind if the wind blows the world towards me. Because I'm patient now. I'm kinder, I'm gentler, I'm not as aggravated by dumb shit. I don't want to set nobody's house on fire every day anymore. It's like a once a month thing. So, I got an amazing therapist that I love. So things are different than what they were at 25, when I would call you on the, hey, best friend, you want to fly to Vegas and kill somebody with me? Or 29, like, hey, best friend, I just ruined her parents' life. Wink, wink. You know, those days are well dead. Don't get me wrong. I miss that guy. He didn't give a shit. But now that I care more about me, it's a little harder to give myself to people.
So with that being said, did you find dating and being in relationships easier when you were around like-minded people like you, i.e. the dancers and the artists and
Yes.
all of those type of people? Because I think that when you're around like-minded people that's like you,
Yes.
you tend to find a spouse or a partner or whatever the case may be. But it gets a little harder when people don't understand you, or just don't understand who you are as a person.
Somebody said that yesterday. Like, do I feel out of place? And I don't feel out of place these last couple of years, but I do feel like I'm around a lot of people who my stories and who I am don't make sense to them.
Right.
And so it's very hard to connect to people I don't make sense to. Like, one of my close friends, his brother met me, and he goes, I don't know how to place you. You're like, I don't, and it took him like 20 minutes to try to find an explanation of who he was. Like, you don't seem this way and you're not that way, but you don't feel this way. And it was, for me, I get that too much. Like,
Because I honestly think you're one of those, I think that most people look at artists as weird people anyway, because
mm-hmm,
artists tend to have really weird quirks about themselves.
mm-hmm,
Right? But I also think that you're just that, love is great and I'm free spirited and I'm not bogged down to anything. Like, you
mm-hmm,
have that demeanor, which sometimes leads to kind of like, who the fuck is this person? Because so many people have their lives and they so structured at it. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
We know what's going to happen on a day-to-day basis. Like
Right.
your whole being about yourself. Like, I wouldn't even know how to understand you if you came to me with a structure. Like,
Right.
what the fuck, Tim? Like, that's not you. Who you trying to be?
Which is, and that from the past, it's been very difficult to, and I can't say a 9 to 5 person or somebody who's out of my field, because I've shit a lot where I've eaten, and I've met a lot of dancers who just really didn't get me. And so I can't put it on my profession, but I can put it on my generation. it's almost as if we weren't raised the way we were raised, because I meet so many people who don't want to see me for me, or who don't give me a chance to be me. It's automatically this way, this thing, that adjective. Like, one girl literally shook me. She was like, "Oh, you a dancer?" Like, what does that mean?
Right.
You know, several people, when I tell them I used to be a makeup artist, or the problem is, and I will say this for both sexes, men and women want honesty until you're honest with them.
Right.
And then when you're honest, it's like, ooh, I shouldn't have been honest, because now you're mad, or butthurt, or weird.
Right.
So,
And I think that's truthful. With and you said with your profession, do you think that, and I have to say, because you still kind of going in the guidelines of what you used to do, just on a smaller scale.
yeah,
Still with the dancing and the, getting women to work out their bodies in a certain type of way and feel good with themselves and this and the third. You spend a lot of time with women. So do you think that women take that and be like, oh, he's not straight, he's gay?
I get that more than most. It is a difficult, what is that? It's a difficult river to navigate, especially in 2020. Um, let's find a good way to answer this without answering. Let's see. It's more of a inconvenience now to 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 be honest. It's an inconvenience when I'm honest with people, because it's almost like, if I would have lied to you, you would have never known the difference, nor would you have been any different. If I told you I was a professional bodybuilder, your demeanor would have changed. If I don't tell people what I used to do before now, like, I know some, I know somebody who used who I did not know I was an artist before. They only met me as a motivational speaker and a fitness person. And it was so interesting to see their whole demeanor change when I told them all I do, and not just what they knew me for. Like, oh, you used to do makeup, and it wasn't what I said, it was how they said it.
Right.
Those things really rub me the wrong way, especially with women of our generation. It's a real weird feeling, like, damn, I see why niggas don't tell you nothing. Like, it makes me sad, but also like, either take it or leave it. You either getting all of this or none of this. And so I'm really in an awesome space to be like, fuck it.
Right.
And that's hard, because that means leaning into being single and okay with being single, because I am. But also, we came into this world alone, we're going to leave alone. You should not be okay with just being by yourself. And so when I realize that I'm okay with being by myself, I spend time with friends, I connect, because it is difficult out here for me in the world.
Right. So do you feel, have you ever got, so I'm guessing that you at this point where is that, I'm not going to look for her, but when she comes, I'll know.
Very much so. I've looked enough. You know how my search history is really bad. I downloaded Google, it didn't work. I downloaded Spotify, like nothing's working. And so I've let the universe take the wheel. And if love pops up, yay. And if it doesn't, I have enough love to give to the people I love.
Right. I think for us women though, we kind of, because women don't have a problem with saying, shit, I'm still single. Like my clock is fucking ticking. You know what I mean? Like,
but when we say that, it's not, we always get dismissed. Like, oh, well, you can have kids until, and it's like,
right,
well, who wants to be 50 popping out fucking children?
right, right.
I don't want to be that old father.
But I also think that men don't open up enough in that way. Like most women won't be privy to these conversations. It'll probably be around amongst men if men do have these conversations. But I don't see enough of men and women together having these conversations. So most women don't think that men actually feel the way that most women feel when they're single and they're getting of age, getting older. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, I'll tell you, because you do have Ryan, one of our high school friends. His post today was very, dang, I really want kids. I really want to get married. A lot of women forget that we have feelings. It's very difficult to say that out loud, but a lot of my generation of women forget that we are not just their fathers, the men who didn't know how to hug or didn't know how to communicate. We grew up loving each other. Like, I grew up telling my homeboys, I love you, bro. And so I have friends, you know, from high school and now that are grown men that I still hug and tell them I love them, and we pour into each other. But that's so, for generalize, a lot of women overlook that. Like, oh, he good, you know, and that's very dismissive. And it's, for me, I can say it, it's hurtful as fuck. Like, bitch, I'm not bitch. I'm grown. I can't, like, I have feelings, and the fact that so many more women that I know dismiss men's feelings and yet expect us to show up emotionally. It's like you got to pick a struggle. Either you want us to be stoic and all knowing and not talking, or you want us to lay on the bed and cry with you while you watch TV. But we can't find a happy medium. Can I not have my machete and cry on the bed?
Right. But you know what?
So,
I think that when you come to a place where you are completely content on being single, that is a very good place to be in because you are okay with being alone.
but it's also very dangerous.
It could be dangerous, but in hindsight, it makes you take your time because you
Yeah,
are okay with being single. I
let me
think
tell you.
into that kind of realm where it's that you hate so much of being single that you will fuck around and end up marrying the wrong person for the wrong fucking reasons. All because you just don't want to be single. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, I don't want to be in a relationship for, 5 years without a marriage. But maybe y'all needed that 5 years. You know,
Yes, yes.
or maybe you as an individual needed more time.
Well, the audience doesn't, but you know me more than anybody. I couldn't imagine getting married at 25. It would have been
Oh Lord, no.
detrimental. Also, I couldn't imagine getting married at 30. 5 years ago, I was not patient enough to. Now I understand what compromise means. Now I understand what truly listening without wanting to respond means. Because 5 years ago, that sounded good. Like, oh, wait till she done talking and rebuttal. Like, understand what she said before you respond. That wasn't a concept 5 years ago. It was like, what the fuck you just say? I didn't like. It barely went into the ear before I U-turned it.
How did she done talking about the size
You know what I mean? Before her period is out of her mouth, I'm like, whoa, no, that was not right. But now I take the time, I listen, I'm patient, and I'm patient with myself because I know I give up easily when it comes to lack of respect, lack of communication, lack of discipline, and lack of I hate non-accepting people.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2020, I should not have to defend me being a dancer or a makeup artist or being from Detroit or being black or any of those things should not be a conversation starter no more. It's not only is it 2020, you grown. Do you want this or not? Yes or no? You know, and then we can go from there. My favorite color is baby blue. I wear 13 and a half shoe. I enjoy cartoons. These are things that people don't ask no more. And for me,
Right.
I'm one of those people like, hey, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite flower? What do you like? And the responses don't be genuine. They be like, what do you mean?
Yeah, why would you ask me the thing?
Like, I was like, hey, sweetheart, what's your favorite color? And she was like, what do you mean, what's my favorite color? And it was like, what color do you fucking like?
Right, right.
I'm not a really color person. I'm sorry, wait. You don't see all these colors and you're not a color person? Okay, never mind. Those are the kind of things that people aren't used to, and it's really,
She was colorblind.
maybe she saw the world in all gray and sepia. Maybe everything was in sepia or grayscale. I don't know. Either way,
She was colorblind. That's why she is. She has a
nope.
color.
Nope. So, I'm not playing with you. The things that I found okay 10 years ago are complete red flag 9 starters now. And the things that I want now, you couldn't have told me I wanted when I was 23.
True.
So I'm very blessed that I'm patient and I'm single because I would have made more not bad choices. I would have made more very, very different life choices had I not been a hopeless romantic, had I wanted to just get it out the way. you know, when we turned 30, it was so many of our friends and family that was like, Tim, when you gonna get married and have kids? And I'm like, when you decide to find someone who loves me for me and want to help. Like, other than that, that question would piss me off because it's like, y'all act like I'm out here. That's like asking a woman when you're going to have kids, not knowing what if she can have kids? What if her
Right.
ovaries have been snatched out of her? Like, what if I lost one of my testicles in a performance when I was 16? My nuts don't work. So I can't, like, it's just that kind of stuff is people don't consider when they talk to men. They consider it when you talk to a woman in her 30s or 40s. You like, I don't want to bring up kids or marriage because what if she can't? Or, you know what I mean? It's a little more compassion when it comes to us getting married and having kids. Like, because you know more than anybody. When I get married, oh, it's our day. It ain't your day. Oh, we in here. It ain't just about you. It's us. It's us. It's us. It's us.
Hey.
But that's the difference. Women, how many times have you ever heard a woman ask a man, what would you like your wedding to look like? As if it's only for homosexual couples or docile men to enjoy the day they're getting married. Like,
I know I asked my husband that. I asked him, did he want to be involved in all the planning? What did he want it to look like? What colors was he into? Like, I really wanted to make sure that he felt like that day was his day as much it was the bride's
right.
day. Because
And
I feel like
you
the
did
bride
that.
is always like, my day and I'm the bride and all attention is on me. And I'm like, no, like, do you want to walk down the aisle instead of just like standing at the front of it? My husband, he walked.
That's why you're my best friend, because guess who walking down the aisle? You think I'm about to let you just stroll down here and we spend it forever together? No.
Yeah, so I think it is important, but I can't honestly say that even though I am not in the dating scene in my 30s or whatever the case may be, I find it interesting to see how my single friends are kind of struggling with it because dating is so much. It's really a different playing field than what it was before because you
Can I
didn't
be
have all
honest?
the fluff in the middle of
Mm-hmm.
people.
And it's weird how many amazing, single, strong women I know who are right where I am, but I know a lot of strong single men. I know a lot of strong single women who are in their 30s. And I know a lot of both groups with no children. And it feels as if we are all saying the same thing. You
Right.
know what I mean? Yeah, we all feel the same way.
Right.
And yet we're not meeting each other. We're just talking to each other like, girl, I feel the same way, or boy, I feel the same way. I'm right there with you. And it's like, we are right here with each other looking for.
And I feel though you have to kind of because like I have a friend and I literally listened to her list of what it was that she wanted. And I'm
Mm.
like, bitch, you might as well go to a factory and build that fucking person because that type of shit don't exist. You know what I mean?
Build a bear. You ain't gonna build a man.
Build it from scratch.
Mm.
Y'all hear my
Goddaughter, what's wrong, baby?
quarantine,
Quarantine life.
my life.
Ooh,
But
that's
anyway,
okay.
like some of the things I was looking at and I was observing, it's like, geez, the shit that you asking for on that list, you're gonna be single forever.
And see, I don't have a list like that because I've heard that before. A lot of our generation has gotten so in our ways. I've been single so long that I really could have a long list of things that I cannot tolerate, but then I would be missing out on my forever because of one quirk or something on the list that my 23-year-old self put on the list or my 27-year-old self put on the list. And it's like, do you really care if this matters or that matters? And I'm like, nah, as long as she don't do meth, I'm good.
Yeah, but I think a lot of stuff that we look at and everything, it kind of clouds our judgment of what's
What
real
we,
and what isn't. And I say that on a perspective of women because we look at, the Instagrams and the social media and it's like, oh my God, he's hot and he got that life and that's what I'm looking for. You know what I'm saying? But then you look at the man and he like, God damn, she built like a brick house. She got that ass, flat tummy,
yeah.
titties, and it's like, bitch, no, that's not real. You know what I mean? Like, fucking cut it out. Your fucking
But I
goal
mean,
is an aisle 6 of the
But
grocery
I don't mean it badly, best friend. If I tell you that I met this girl on social media and in 6 weeks we serious, I need you to come and check on me.
store.
I've been bamboozled, you know.
And I'm not saying that it's bad to me because you have people that meet on social media. Like I met my husband on
I was about to say you met your husband on MySpace.
MySpace. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't like I was looking at a zooped up picture of him that was
But in real talk, sis,
all type of shit.
if MySpace still existed, it would be more of a realer. It would be more of a authentic expression of who we are than Facebook and Instagram. Because at least with MySpace, you can go on someone's page and be like, "Oh, they like that kind of music. Oh, that's their top 10 songs. Oh, that's their background. So that's the kind of you can give or not give. You can gauge someone's personality a little bit more from MySpace than Facebook and Instagram's rigid color scheme, no individuality, very much allowing people uh, to create falseness. Whereas on MySpace, you taking all that time to create a false page, then you really a psychopath. Like, oh, so you don't really like Demi Moore? You went and found that background?
You went and coded that shit in.
You coded that shit in just for likes? Can you imagine that nowadays? Like you coding in a whole page just for a few likes.
Right.
Social media is easier to be fake because all they gotta do is post pictures and filters. Imagine trying to code a whole fucking Black Panic page or MySpace page in
Right.
fakeness. Like, damn, bitch, you got a lot of time on your hands. You about to create a whole Black Panic? Wow.
What is you doing?
What are you doing?
What are we doing here? Don't do it. Well, it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting to know, you know.
I hope I answered these questions with the honesty that I led with. It's an interesting world, though. I mean,
yeah, it is.
You couldn't have told me dating would be the way it is now when we were growing up, let alone 10 years ago. But now it's a different engine. You can't just meet people, feel them out, and get to know them. You got to make sure that they're them. You got to make sure that they were born the person they tell you they are. Like
yeah. I don't really know what I would do if I was still dating in my 30s. To be quite honest,
okay, that's confidence. Thank you, best friend. You see?
No, like seriously though, because I look at you guys and I'm like, damn, y'all such good people. There is no fucking reason that, you know, I see a lot of people like that. Like, damn, you a fucking good catch. There's no way you should be single still. You know?
I say that a lot. Not about me. I mean, because I know I'm a good catch.
I feel like if I was still single in my 30s, I would probably remain that way. Because not only that, I'm just not for the fuck shit. And I'm not about to be an Instagram whore for you. And I'm not like, you know, and I'm not about to fucking snap a couple of naked pictures of me for you to like me on social. Like I'm not in that scene. You know what I mean? Like
yes, I do.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to.
I mean, a couple people got dick pics of me, but this 2020, so I mean.
But not only that, though, I feel like girls are so kind of pressured into showing all of them so fast.
It has been that way, but it's more heightened now. And even you say girls, but I say both, because these men, I've never seen so much nakedness between the sexes. And so there's nothing left to the imagination. People are fucking in cars like we used to. Never mind. People are having sex in cars like it's going out of style. They're hooking up. This hookup culture is very prominent now, and so it's taken away from how many people you hear talking about having sex or making love. Everybody talking about smashing and fucking, and I'm like, I'm not a dog in heat, nor am I an animal in the wild. I'm not fucking or smashing anything right now. I mean, on occasion, yeah, but what are we smashing? And I don't want to smash anything because that sounds violent.
Right.
But the words we use, and it's gotten comfortable.
It's a weird time, and I kind of look back at that, and I am kind of grateful for where I am in my life.
Are you? Good job. You want to continue for marriage?
To be quite honest, I think that so many people look at marriage too, like, I really want to be married. I know that I did, you know what I'm saying? But I really don't think that me and my husband would have made it if we got married in our 20s.
Oh yeah, definitely. Best friend. If you would have got married at 25, nope.
Yeah, like I know the stupid shit I was on. I know the stupid shit he was on, and I'm not talking about cheating or anything like that. I'm just talking about
No, just in general.
growing up as a person.
Our car insurance hadn't even lowered.
Right. If you're not mature and know yourself as a person, there's no way that you can be mature and know yourself with someone else.
Right. And I think
we had time to like better ourselves individually, better our relationship too.
And I'm finally at a place where I know myself fully, and so there's no going backwards now. And so that is a difficulty. Like, if you would have met me at 28, you could have swept me off my feet and vice versa. But now, these games is go play the lottery. Don't play me.
Right.
Silly rabbit. Tricks are for kids.
Exactly. Well, best friend, this has been interesting.
I hope so. This was fun.
Into your life a little bit, and you came out all, authentic and a little bit vulnerable with the.
Yeah, I do what I can.
Cold type shit.
I thought you was gonna plug me up to deeperness, but this was good. This was the right amount of deepness.
No, I figure if you wanted to go deeper than that, then it would just come out.
No, this was good. This was very good. Look at my smile. I'm very happy with this. Dig deeper, and then we have to tell them what we're doing next week. We're really excited. We're doing.
God, it's gonna be so fun. So make sure you guys tune in. We will be doing a once a month segment of eat something, drink something, talk something. So come to us with your food and your drink and all of your comments, and we will
Wednesday we will be cooking 2 different meals. Right? We're cooking 2 different meals.
Yes, 2 different meals.
2 different meals, 2 different cocktails, and we're just going to kick it like a normal show, but then we'll be drinking and eating as well because we both like to eat.
Yes, I
like to drink.
I love it.
We both like to talk.
And we don't even have a topic for that segment. We just gonna shoot the fucking shit like we at a dinner table and have a good time. And we will love you guys' opinion and your feedback and your comments and talk your shit. But please remember that we do cut back.
Crazy. We love y'all so much. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Like, comment, share, blah, 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 blah. We love you guys so much. I'm Tim.
And I'm Tika.
2 sides to 1 coin, and we out.